What do you want to pick up here with this Sven Marana opening? I mean, you could just go for it in the pos 5. It's, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you just take a pos 5, you've already got the Sven, it's just a matter of who you want to combo with.
I'd say Oracle's really nice. Take out the magic damage from the Lash, gives you False Promise as well to keep your Sven just alive and running down people. The Root can kind of play with a Marana if you want to play in that way. But I think just Sven Oracle's a really darn strong combo. They go with the Undying instead, which is, you know, it's its own thing. It's got its healing as well with the Soul Rip. We've seen a lot of Undying come true and actually do a lot of work for the most part. Not much from Execration yet to deal with Tombstone spam, so they've got to watch out. And the ET is not going to help in that aspect as well. So Elder Titan comes through, tying up the team fight of Execration. Right, you've got Mars, you've got ET with a Stomp, with the Split Earth, the Leshrac as well with the AoE. But they've got to be cautious about where they fight. If they fight in the choke point where the Undying can get the Tombstone on a cliff, we've seen that really ruin fights for a lot of teams.
Elder Titan picked up by Execration. We see this plenty of times with the Leshrac. Just very strong kind of potent combination. TNC Predator, they do go for the Void Spirit now, and it's a flexible pickup. It could either be in the mid or the off lane, but... Well, I say you'd expect in the mid, but we know KB. He does enjoy playing this Void Spirit quite a lot. Execration, they do go into the Faceless Void now, so trying to counter out the Void Spirit and the Sven for that matter. I guess the Void is one of the better picks up against the Sven, considering you do have the inbuilt magic damage with the Bash. But it really goes either way, right? Like, it's... When you get to the point where you have the Ags and the level 15 up on the Sven, it's kind of hard to contest this Sven no matter who you are.
Yeah, it is. I think the one thing for Execration here is that they go with this Void. Not only does it kind of go back and forth with the Sven, but the Chrono does play really nice with their lineup. So ET plus Chrono is great. Leshrac plus Chrono is also great. There's not much from TNC to deal with that. Like, they can't really dip into Avenge. There's no room for them to go for an Oracle, go for anything to kind of stop the Chrono from being effective. So there's a lot of leeway here for Execration to just maximize it. What I am keen to see is how Execration closes out their draft. So it looks like they might end with a pause 5 or in the Lesh mid, Mars off, and ET plus 1 support. We'll see what they do pocket till the end. TNC, they do have last overall pick, so they can kind of dance around that. Options to control the Void are really shrinking down. You see that Beastmaster taken out here. No Roar to stop the Faceless Void inside. It's going to be a pretty straightforward Faceless Void game here for Execration.
I'd say so. Final ban-outs, we do see the Skywrath being removed here from TNC, so not wanting that kind of nice combination with the Void. You know, obviously the Mystic Flare after the Chrono does come out. Even with the Mars, of course, it is quite devastating. Execration, though, final ban, or rather final pickup for them. What do you want here?
5 seconds.
I mean, it must be a position 4 coming out here for Execration, right?
Yeah,
something to go with the Mars.
It should be. Definitely. Just giving them that support to really tie it up. I don't know what they'd take, though. Like, maybe... I don't know, because the ET as a support is already pretty greedy as well. I think they might look for a 5 here, ET4 instead, but we have seen ET5. I guess a Rubik could line up, Mars, lift, spear into... Lift into spear is always nice. You've got some decent spells to steal, not the most amazing, but Rubik doesn't necessarily need that. Can tie in well with a combo, so I haven't needed to close out with that Rubik.
Okay. I mean, it's very strong with the Mars as well, right? You have the easy spear setup, even more magic amp as well. In conjunction with the Elder Titan, I mean, the amount of magic amp you have right now on the side of Execration is kind of insane. It's going to be quite a nice feeling for this Leshrac to be able to just kind of run in with all this bonus damage that it can pump out. And of course, up against the Sven, who does have a very, very high armor, that magic damage is going to be very influential this game, I'm sure. TNC, however, their final pickup now, arguably lacking an Armel hero here. What I'm seeing, John, I wouldn't mind seeing the Armel Kunkka come out.
Yeah, yeah. That would be perfect here, right? You buff up the Sven, but they go with a Quap instead, so
Okay.
they go with something with high mobility. This is really nice with the Void Spirit. So you've got two heroes that can jump around, cause havoc in the back line, maybe look to hunt down the Leshrac first, or silence up the Void, take control of Yaoi before he can get off the Chrono, and that's one way to really turn that fight in its head. So TNC, really tidy lineup. They've got the Sven to carry them through late, but they've got a lineup that can also fight as 4 really early on. Execration's got to watch that aggression. They need to play perfectly around the Chronospheres that Yaoi will bring out, and kind of play around with the teamfight potential that they do have around a Chrono here.
Okay. Let's see how this one pans out, of course. Generally speaking, both teams want to try and get away with a 2-0 victory if they can. TNC, I'm sure, are going to be sitting there as the favorites in this matchup, considering they're standing in the groups right now. Execration, not, if I do remember correctly, they're not actually doing too bad in the groups either, are they?
Yep, they're nipping at the heels of TNC, number 2 right now. So
Right.
they're just right behind, and if they do get a full win, that would immediately drag them up above. If they get a draw, things stay the same, but I'm sure TNC wants to start building up a lead. You know, no one's getting eliminated here if they do end up in the bottom, but you do want to be the upper seed, tighten up your chances in the upper bracket start, and just have a smooth ride in those playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get into it. Game number 1 between TNC and Execration is underway now. Of course, 2 Filipino teams here, John, is probably going to mean we are going to have some pauses going on, as is tradition. And you're going to have to do some translating for me as well, Jonathan. I know Filipino isn't your first language, as you like to tell me, but...
That's very true. Armel, no trash talk, VDC, please. And then VDC saying, don't trash talk me in the GC group chat, I guess. Then Yaoi's giving a shout out to, I believe, Wombo X Combo. Aldo's
Nice.
one of the casters, so bit of a shout out. If you'd only shout out us. So, you know, I've still got to poke March about that.
Well, I mean, speaking
Someday.
of March, I was going to say Febby probably feels like March right now, having no idea what they're saying, as poor March
course.
had to put up with, and March seemed to enjoy it, though, in all fairness.
Oh, I love this start from Febby. Look at this.
That's-
5 mangoes start on Undying. That's what you love.
See, March would be very proud of this, John. As we know,
Absolutely.
March's nickname was Mango March. Yeah, he was Eminem himself, and
Yep.
obviously Febby, understanding what a great Captain March was, he follows suit.
Oh, you've got to keep up that pace. Still, not going to be any big scuffles here. We'll see what Febby can do in his lane. Of course, he's going to be laning up with Gabby. So it's the Sven Undying lane. That can be pretty aggressive if you do manage to get a good spot here, and Febby does go for Decay level 1. They are going to be laning up against Rupido and BDZ on the Mars and Rubik.
How dare
So
you.
it's that combination we
Don't-
picked up. What?
Don't start pronouncing things in the Filipino way. I'm the one who has to do play-by-play, John. Don't go saying rupido, because you're going to make me have to pronounce it like that every time we go into a team fight. Is that actually how it's pronounced? Is it rupido?
No, you don't really prolong the rolling R, but you could. I don't know. It's not like a set rule, man. You know.
Is it because
you can
I
say
did
what
the
you
whole
want.
rambulan thing? So now you wanna roll some R's too? Because I'll roll
Yeah,
R's all game if you want me to, John. I'll do it.
Hey, you know what? Do it. It's more fun that way, isn't it? There's just something about rolling those hearts that's fun. Still, BDZ's having a good time here as well, getting this nice pull off, and we've seen this a lot from Rubik's, but they get a fast level 2, it can be really hard to deal with.
That it can. Not a fun lane here for Rupido. Febby just going to keep running at him with all these decays, and of course that'll allow Gabby to just freely farm up behind his own tier 1 tower, and this is exactly what Gabby wants to be doing. It's just going to mean he should have absolute free CS. BDZ, realizing where the creep wave is now, is going to have to make his way up towards that top lane to try and contest Gabby. So one thing you don't want to do up against a Sven is give him a free lane like this. You want to at least try and be there to harass him and deny some creeps away. Looks like Gabby, realizing he was on his way, is going to just drag the creep wave underneath the tier 1 tower as BDZ is going to go for another pull away.
Yeah, just get that EXP flowing. Of course, this is really taking away the presence of Febby. Like, he has no one to decay, he has no one to trade hits with, so it's going to be a slower start for the Undying. This does give us some time to talk about other lanes. Like, we look down mid, Armel versus Ken, Lushrak versus Quap. Been a really good start for Armel so far. Finds the Obs Ward as well. So gets a little bit of gold going for his supports, and he's got a lot of last hits on top of that Lush. So Ken's got to watch himself. This is something that the Leshrac can mitigate by going into the jungle, but you don't want to bleed too much to a Quap this early on.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I believe we did see this matchup in the last series. I can't remember who exactly it favored, but no, in fact, it wasn't this matchup. It was Leshrac versus Ember. Really goes to show you how bad my memory is getting, John. I'm getting real old now. Still, the mid lane, of course, like you said, it's going to be a bit of a trade, but Armel looks like he is going to pull ahead on the Queen of Pain, at least for now. Hard thing for Armel, though, in this mid lane is he can't really roam around as the Quap. So as soon as you do, Ken's going to be able to just push the lane in and pop the Diabolic Edict and just force in that tier 1 mid tower.
Yeah, and we've seen Leshracs get that mid-tier 1 super fast, get their supports to back them up, find it before the 10-minute mark. That gives a lot of room for Execration to roam around, so got to be some emphasis here from Armel to keep that lane shoved in. Let's see if the supports can get their bodies down. We're hitting that 4-minute mark soon. And taking a look down bot, Tims is already sort of setting up, just getting some damage off, getting some, trying to be annoying towards RR to get himself some space. They are sort of leaving Yaoi alone to farm up. He's had a pretty straightforward time here in Faceless Void. KP is slightly ahead though, so that's not good news for Execration, but you're not slowed down in this Faceless Void at all.
KP knows this Void Spirit very, very well. He's been playing it quite a lot, and it's not too surprising that KP would find himself ahead in terms of CFs up against this Void. At least for now, anyway. See how it does pan out. Mid lane. There goes my dog. It's like mid lane. Ken is going to get ganked up. He does get taken out, and BDZ, he was there to try and help out, but he's also going to go down. Armel going to pick up a double kill and the first blood gold, and that is a real disaster here for Execration and TNC. They know it. They're all tipping BDZ.
Hey, come on, guys. They said no trash talking in the group chat, right?
It's kind of like
Can't have that when you are fighting.
Yeah, I mean, I've been having a lot of pub games in SCA, John, and they also say the same thing, right? One team trash talks the other. They say, please don't trash talk, don't be toxic. And you know what happens the moment they start winning, John? Is they pause the game and they start trash talking every single time. Every single time. It's the bait and switch.
It's Southeast Asia. It's just tradition at this point, you know, especially when it's down to, you know, the Rambulan. When it's these two Filipino teams, you got to bring out that internet cafe culture. A little bit of trash talk never hurt anyone. You gotta just man up and kind of put yourself out there. That's just how it goes.
Jeez, you're toxic, John. Such a toxic person. You know that?
Hey, I've got behavior score of 10,000. All right. So I'm a very good player because I never chat. I mute all my teammates. I mute all my enemies. It's a solo game. What do you mean?
Mid lane, Mel copying a lot of damage there from Ken. He's going to be alright though. Because you pointed it out earlier, John, but Armel, he's had a very good mid lane. I mean, he had those 2 kills, he had the first blood gold bonus, and you look at his CS, he's doubling up on this Leshrac right now. And in terms of levels, of course, he is 1 full level ahead. And finds another power rune for himself. It is going to be an Invis rune, and of course Armel, understanding how far ahead he's going to be right now, is feeling very, very confident.
Oh yeah, they're just keeping the supports down here as well, forcing some movements back from Execration as well. So you saw RR dip down mid just to get some space out, and you are seeing Ken dip into that jungle early on, trying to play catch up. That just opens up so much for Armel. And the fact that these supports are having to roam mid has met that Gabby up top. Free run in his farm. He's already got his Mask of Madness at 6.5 minutes in. This has just been a free start for Sven.
I mean, mind you, he did skip the treads, so there's that, but definitely Gabby feeling like he can afford to just be greedy. Well, for now, he's gotten away with it. Nothing stopping him from picking up that Mask of Madness without boots. Meanwhile, mid, Tims does land an arrow onto Ken, and that means Ken is gonna die with the Sonic Wave out, but Armel could be in danger, but no, he does juke out the stomp out from RR. And again, Armel, it was indeed pretty perfect. He gives the tip over to Ken.
Yeah, it's everything you could ask for. This is just a perfect start for TNC. 3-0, and all 3 kills are just on their mid-core. Like, what more could you ask for? They're protecting Gabby in the jungle. You did see the roam around here from BDZ, but he was just a bit too late. Does get his 1 ward cleared. 1 ward stays around, but it's not the best vision. It's just watching 1 camp. That's not going to really put a dent in Gabby's rotations here in the jungle.
Get easy. It's going to be all right, Tims. He did use the arrow to just get a large creep off that large camp. Execration, they look very lost right now, I've got to say, John. The only good thing going for them right now is the fact that Yaoi is farming very nicely on that basis void, but I mean, when I say nicely, I mean he is still behind Armel, but he finds a nice chrono out. Ken needs that split earth out ASAP and does land it nicely, and that'll be a kill going towards Ken onto Armel. And that was a very important kill to be able to secure there for the side of Execration.
Yep, it's on here with 3 kills. Pretty much all the kills in that game was just on Armel, so good punishment coming out. I like seeing Yaoi go around with his chrono, understanding that it is such a big spell to play with in this lineup. You get good use out of it. He isn't going to win the farming game up against his Fendo, so they should understand that. Try to play around that timing. They have clumped up top looking for that tier 1 top. It is only Tims. This could be a really good target to take as well for Execration.
It certainly could be. Tims is going to hang around, however, and try and see if he can slow this down a little bit. Of course, he is in a nice prime position to go for a counter kind of initiation if his team does need it. But now he does reveal his position. In Execration, even without a siege creep, don't seem too concerned about just forcing this tier 1 tower in. TNC, I mean, they already got the bot tier 1 tower. They're not worried about it. They're going to let it go. And I think for TNC, as long as Gap... No, they're going to go for a fight. They've smoked up. Spear is going to be there onto KB, but he's going to be just fine as he goes in on to Rupido. And it looks like our Elder Titan, or rather Mars, is going to die. Gabby now trying to go onto this void. A lot of damage coming out of the Sonic Wave is there from Armel. They do get another. And Johnny, if I may, props to Febby. He does have that new Undying set that you can't afford to get.
Yeah, it is really sick. Like, I do love it. I can't wait to see the Flesh Golem come out. And Fabby's doing some good work. Like, they smoked up, they found a kill, they're roaming into the triangle. They might find RR here.
Okay, B gonna spot him out now. Nice bounty rune still there from KB, and oh, he has a full bottle now. He'll get a bit of harassment out. In fact, he might just go for a kill. He will. KB able to pick up a solo pickoff onto the Older Titan. Nice and easy. Gabby seeing the opening now without that Elder Titan up, goes straight into that tier 1 mid tower. They also have the 10-minute siege creep coming in, and there's really no stopping the side of TNC at this point in time. Not with a 5k net worth lead.
It's just such a huge amount. 6k at 10.5 minutes. I didn't even realize it, but they've run over this early game start. Gabby's just had a perfect time of farming. He's got Mask of Madness and Equi Saber up already. But his power treads, like, it's flying out now. This is just ridiculous for Gabby. And Execration, they've kind of fallen behind. 1-6. Their only kill came out with Chrono. They do have Chrono ready to go, but they need to throw all their bodies out to find that pickoff.
So while we have a bit of downtime, someone asked me to say Rambulan na tayo. What does that mean, John?
Rambulan na tayo. That's like, let's fight now. Let's fight. Let's do it.
First of all,
Rambulan
John,
na tayo.
You don't need to pronounce it so well so that I sound like an idiot, right? I'm the play-by-play here, John. Hey?
I'm sure you can nail it. I'm just telling you, you can copy it once I say it.
Well, pronounce it again, John.
Rambulan na tayo.
Rambulan na tayo.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. It's just about there. It's better than mine, I'd say.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. Yeah. I've been working hard to start learning the language of the Philippines. I've been getting there, I think.
Yeah, the next thing we know, it's like when you drop by here, the first place you'll go to is a net cafe and just start trash talking some kids.
I'm going straight to Jollibee, John, as is tradition. Top
That's
lane.
what we want.
Void is going to be in a bit of trouble here as they are going to chase him up. Mel doesn't quite have the Orchid up yet.
Shadows, take us.
Moonlight Shadow going to be popped. They know the Void is around somewhere. Mel going to go the right way, but there is also already a TP out. Rupido might be in a little bit of trouble though, John. He's Now you don't get to laugh every time I pronounce it. I told you I would do it.
I love it. It's just, I can feel how much fun you have saying the rolling R. It's just fun, isn't it? When you've got an excuse to do it. It's just fun, right? You rarely get to do it most of the times, but when you let out the rolling R, it just feels right.
It does.
Feels absolutely right.
I would agree.
Come get me.
Still, this is, I mean, Rupido's name is nice, but you look at the score right now, Mike, it's not. 1-6, 7k lead for TNC. Execration just constantly lagging behind. And we talked about this. Like, Yaoi, with all the space in the world, will just not farm as efficiently as Sven. Just the nature of the heroes. He does not have an inbuilt cleave. They've been sitting on this chrono for a while. Execration needs to either find a way of stopping this farm, get some deep wards in, or try to force some bodies out in objectives. They're sitting on a Lesh with Diabolic Edict maxed out, and they haven't made too much progress in objectives.
No, they haven't. I mean, Rupido is literally still just pulling creeps in the top lane. We're 13.5 minutes in. The lane's over, but he's hanging around. He's still committed to trying to win this lane. I don't think there's any coming back, though. Gabby is way and truly ahead. He does now get his Blink Dagger up on the Mars, and that can mean he can start to get a bit more involved with his team. In fact, they're going to go... Oh. Yeah, they just double smoked, John.
Yikes. Yep.
That's a bit of a yikes. That's unfortunate. Tims might even be able to break off the smoke, and he does. RR going to get spotted out. Tims knows they were smoked up now, so there's no chance in hell they get caught out. In fact, KP, he has a double damage rune active. He wants to jump in. He just doesn't care. They are 8k ahead, mind you, so I don't think they need to care.
No. I mean, what the hell timing is this in Gabby? BKB next, and he is just so close. Like, this is just wild. Like, what? 1.1k away from the BKB on a Sven at 14.5 minutes in, when he's got Equisaber, Mom, Treads. This is just the freest game you could ask for Gabby.
I would agree. Another smoke up. Where are they getting all these smokes from? They've been storing them, John. Execration, their third smoke in the last 30 seconds. Into the dire triangle. Febby is going to be the one to break the smoke now, and a quick Moonlight Shadow, but they have caught out Gabby, but they miss the spear. They'll get the dust off Gabby. He pops the God Strength, looking to fight back. KP jumps in now, controlling up the Titan. They commit the Chrono, but where's your damage out? The Stomp is coming, but Armel, the Sonic Wave's going to be there. They take down the Void. Ken's trying his best. He might just die to Gabby's damage. He will, and now they'll all get chased down. He's trying to run away, but there is no running. 10k advantage now to TNC. A full team wipe out. This is really turning into a one-sided affair here. TNC just not taking any prisoners.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal here, Mike. 1-11. 11k lead. I don't know what Dota Plus will say. Dota Plus is saying 90-10. With TNC. Like, this is 16 minutes in, man. I don't know what to say. This is brutal. Execration. I mean, they're trying. Like, I think that's something you have to watch out for as a team. You know, when you kind of tunnel vision into just smoking up multiple times. They popped a scan right when they got their smoke broken as well. So they're just losing these tools one by one, and they're bashing their heads against a wall. And they need to regroup, reconsider, get some information out on the map before making these moves out, and be very careful with how they position themselves.
It's very true, John.
Have fortified their structures against attack.
It's hard as well. You're up against this Tim's Marana. He's always throwing out arrows, getting vision of your team. And it's just very difficult to be able to do much. In fact, Armel, he's just jumped in with this Orchid up. This could be dangerous as Rupido does come in, but KP is going to be there to help out, and Armel is able to just blink out of the arena. They do get BDZ, and Execration find nothing. In fact, Gabby may just go after Ken now. He's waiting for the God Strength. Glimmer Cape there. They don't know he's around. Rubido trying to run, but he will not make it up the staircase. He will just tumble and fall. And that should mean another tower to go to TNC. I mean, just there's nothing to stop them.
Yeah, 1 to 13, 12K, 17 minutes in, TNC. Perfect game. Like, this is actually perfect execution, perfect movement out. Execration a bit lost right now. Ken's just farming on this opposite jungle where it's safe. They're also trying to build up on Yaoi. Still nowhere near what they need to find. BKB being rushed out by Face's Void. And Moonlight Shadow flies out from TNC, so they're just ready to keep this aggression up.
Dire should look to that top tower.
Oh, Execration. Grouping up again. I mean, it's just, what do you get done here? It's just so tough to find an opening. The longer you wait, though... Oh, nice chrono out. Yaoi, he's found a big target, but do they have the damage output? They'll get a spear off, and KB will drop. And believe it or not, John, that was the second kill of the game for Execration.
I mean,
it's tough.
It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, so they find something. That was chrono blown, though. And that is Yaoi's biggest tool in finding these fights, and with that gone... Execration, they might still be able to fight with the Blink Arena, but they've still got to be super cautious. This takes your Void out of the picture. The farm is still being built up. Gabby still has the full 10-second charge BKB. Ags coming up next, 3 parts away. So you're still seeing that steady ramp up, and Execration still don't have all the answers. They are clumping down mid.
Oh, that's a big kill. Gabby gets caught out with the spear, but the tombstone has been dropped. Do they have the damage output? Gabby's not dead yet. He does go down eventually. A great pickup, but now Febby's in and KP with a massive astral step at the Sonic Wave. BDZ trying to fight back, but it is not going to be enough. They will still fall. It's going to be a 5-for-1 trade. Honestly, John, it's a massive pickup for Execration, but you can't say it's worth it when you lost your whole team.
No. You know things are bad when you lose your entire team, and in the end, Execration still gained 161 gold for finding that kill on Gabby. So they lost their entire team. They still found 160 gold for their trouble. So in the end, it's a net positive, but you are widening that lead TNC has, and TNC can't really progress into the high ground yet, but they are just constantly using this control while they have caught out Timstone.
Nice arrow out, BDZ. Very good on this Rubik, BDZ is, and he does manage to get another. KP sticking around. He wants that bounty rune, and he has the Aghanim Scepter up now on this Void Spirit. The silences. No, he doesn't actually. That was Armel who threw out the silence with the Orchid. Still managed to just get away. How far is that, Ags? 1.5k gold off. In the meantime, Yaoi working towards the BKB is almost there, but...
Oh, Gabby?
Yeah, Gabby just kills off Ken. And speaking of Ags, John, Gabby is not too far off his own Ags.
Yep, it's gonna be insanely fast. Like, he's level 18 as well. Compare that to, oh my god, Yaoi's still 13. That's such a huge gap between these pause ones. Armel's at 15 and Arlesh is at 13 as well. I mean, this is pretty ridiculous. Now, Execration again with the Chronos, they can still fight back, but they need to find their targets. They can't get away with just one. If they do find one, I think they've got to pull back immediately. They've got to play the long game here. Play hit and run if they do find a pick off. Don't force their luck. TNC is playing this perfectly, though. They're kind of loosely together for the most part. And when they're not, they're playing on their side of the jungle, keeping that lead up. And they've not really given too much away. Besides that one death on Gabby, they've still got control on the map. Ags is going to be done very soon, and it's just a slow ride up.
Here comes the Moonlight Shadow out from Tim's. Smoke out from Execration. This could be very bad timing as they run straight into Febby. He'll break the smoke, and both teams just back off. they still have to be a bit wary, right? Like with the chrono up, you never know. They get a big chrono off here for Yowie. It could mean a wipe for TNC.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
So they are still respecting the ability of that chrono and even the arena, of course. I personally still question whether they'll have the damage output even with the Leshrac around, but you have to pay that respect. That being said, John, Ag's now up on Gabby. Might be time to go.
Yeah, it's that big spike. You've got level 20 as well, so -5 second Stormhammer cooldowns in play, and Gabby can just fly around like Superman, no problems.
Here we go. This is... This has to be one of the most broken things I've seen in a very long time. I mean, this Aghanim Scepter is just not normal. Ara, he's about to disappear. He's gone. KP will pick up that one. Onto Yowie, who just stands still as he's TPing away, and that arrow just flies past his head. They do not want to deal with that Ag Sven right now. Not with this kind of a net worth deficit. Into the Roshan pit, TNC go.
Yeah, and this could be a really quick Roche for them to take.
Look at that
They've got
tombstone, John.
all their spells up. Yeah, it's a lovely one. Man, the head moves. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can't afford it. I do have the old TI one. I feel like that's more OG, but this is definitely sick. Still, first Aegis out. They do have Chrono, but Execration's in no position to fight. Another tool going the way of TNC. 4-20, 18k up.
420.
420.
We did it, fam.
Perfect.
We hit the dream. Didn't even notice.
Top tower is under attack.
That does mean we
Perfect.
sacrifice the 3-2-2 dream, though.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I don't know what I prefer. I think I prefer 3-2-2, just because that feels so much more rare as a score, right? As a score.
Bot lane.
Much more rare.
Yowie. Oh, it gets the BKB off in time, gets the chrono as well, but where's your damage output? They're trying their best. KP almost dead, but no, he just won't die. He does survive as Gabby gonna start rushing forward now, looking for a target. He'll pick the Void. He doesn't care for the Leshrac at the moment. In fact, Ken, he's gonna go for a TP. Gabby can't cancel it off, but instead they can go after Rupido, who does kill off KP. It will just not matter, however. They kill him off. A 1-for-2 as Tim's arrow is not going to land on BDZ. He does manage to get away, but RR is going to be stuck and he's going to die as well. A 3-for-1 trade. 20k net worth lead, John, and it's getting tougher and tougher as time goes on for Execration.
Hey, that it is. At least they get the Ags up and Ken. Don't know how much of a difference that'll make, but it's there and okay, yeah.
Yeah, Ken. Orking it up. Sonic Wave. Oh, that's a nice dodge out. But the damage did still connect, so Gabby just going to jump back in, but now the bashes are coming in from Yowie. He might just get Gabby, but it will just be the Aegis. Still a nice little win there for Execration. Can they get him a second time? Gabby, he pops the BKB, going after Rupido, but he is just going to be fine, just standing his ground and man fighting back. Now Yowie jumping forward onto Armel, but there goes Gabby coming back into the team fight. Armel going to survive with the soul rips out from Febby. Here comes KP, looking for an astral step back into the backlines, and they just melt so darn quick. Gabby's damage output is just insane. They're trying to buy back and fight back, but it may not be enough. And that'll be 2 diebacks, or rather just buybacks, out from Execration. TNC will go back to that top tier 2 tower. There's nothing they can do to stop this push from happening.
No, they don't have Chrono, they don't have Arena. They will have both up in about the same time, though. There's going to be an opportunity to perhaps defend, but I think they're going to have to lose these outer towers. And they do catch one out, KP.
Oh, not quite. Dissimulate is there, and well, they tried for the spear back, but you have to guess which portal is going to come out from, and of course that is going to be rather difficult to do. KP going to be just fine. 26k net worth lead. Dota Plus is completely given up. 100%. I don't know
That's
how
a rare one.
It's
That's a rare one, right? Like, up against a Void, you rarely see the 0% on the opposing side.
I would
It's
agree.
You know, Dota Plus always biases that chrono, but not this game. So dire straits here for Execration. We'll see if they can do something. They're clumped up. Looks like looking for a last-ditch team fight, but they just can't see anything. They don't have really good wards. Like, it's so deep in, but TNC is just not playing there. And that does mean they don't have control in their own jungle here, Execration.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under
They grouped up as 5 here, Execration. There's definitely strength in numbers. Maybe they try for another smoke attempt. I mean, they are starting to run out of options as time goes on. They do have a smoke on RR. I mean, do you bother? TNC, they're going to show up in the mid lane now, and oh, the silence is out in the void. He still is going to survive as KP is dropping low and does go down, but now Gabby jumping in onto Ken. They do get the Yules off in time, but Ken is very low, and now Yowie gets the chrono off. A sonic wave out from BDZ is going to burst down RML, but Ken is also gone. And now the stun out from Gabby, just from a mile away. Still, overall, not a bad team fight for Execration. They did get 2 cores for their trouble. And it is a fair bit of golden XP going their way.
Yeah, they get a massive amount there. Really good use of that chrono. This is not going to stop the push that comes out from TNC though. So they take the last outer tower. There is no chrono, no arena for a while. They could make some plays, but down 2 heroes, TNC, I think they understand that. Again, they've got this massive lead. No need to force issues out. Just keep playing this farm game. They've got the silver edge on Gabby. The Basher is going to be up next, so he's going to have control. And an Orb of Destruction. Of course, while you're ahead, why not get even more items to help you stay ahead?
I agree. Speaking of Gabby, he's found Yowie. Arrow is going to land as well from Thames, but a nice spear out from Rupido. He's trying to just help out his Void in surviving, and Yowie is actually going to survive, but he's very low in HP. Gabby still going to fight back. He's pretty low himself. They're going to chase him down. Arena out. Gabby needs a way out of this one, or maybe he needs to just fight back, but no, he's going to go down to BDZ as KP tries to fight with his team. They're going to keep going. RR going to go down as RML jumps back in after Ken. They'll find another. Who else can they find? Febby. He's on a double. They do catch up BDZ. And RML will take that one. So overall, I mean, Gabby dies on the Sven, and again, that's going to be a lot of XP and gold to Execration, but it costs them 4 heroes for that.
Yeah, it's still a net positive. Again, you look at the gold change. Lose 4 heroes for 1, still gain 494. Just the state of the game there for Execration. Still a net positive, but this definitely won't stop the push. No chrono, no heroes. Tier 3 is going to fall. Without the Sven, this is a bit slower. It doesn't matter. They've got the time in the world. They force out the fortify, but they're hunting.
KP's found a big target there. And oh, that's a lot of damage out. Yowie just cannot sustain himself. It's a tough time if you are an Execration fan. They are indeed going to continue just going after that mid barracks. And well, John, if you're TNC, once Gabby respawns, I don't see why you even bother backing off.
Yeah, I mean, they could keep that chase up. Chrono's still down for a bit longer. I think TNC just kind of want to play the game a bit more, you know, and maybe they're just enjoying this, securing themselves a win. You can even see Gabby did buy the book for himself, trying to rush his 25. I don't even know if that's something he necessarily needs, but he's got 24. He's very close. Next Roche, we might see the respawn soon in about 40 seconds, so that's something TNC could wait for first. I think they might just want to build up. Like, look at Febby. Febby's also got a blink here. Isn't that
Yeah,
isn't
I
that
mean,
nice?
what's better than that, John, is Gabby's got a double damage rune to bottle
Beautiful.
up. Yeah. So, you know, Gabby may have felt like he was lacking a tiny bit of damage. This should make up for it, right? Like, I mean, he's not, you know, he didn't have quite enough. Now is when the fun starts. PDZ might be the poor victim. Gabby starts rushing forward as RML blinks in after that Elder Titan. Yowie trying to find a chrono, does commit it onto the Sven, but look at the damage output, John. There's nothing. They're doing nothing to him. Gabby will just turn back around. Yowie cliffs himself to try and go after the tombstone. Arrow will not land. Ken is trying to fight back, but they kill off Yowie. They kill off Ken. They've called the GG on the side of Execration, and that'll be game 1. Going to the way of TNC. in a very dominant fashion, might I add.
Oh, boy, that was just brutal. I think that was 8 to 39, 38k lead. We hit the 420, which is really the highlight of this one. That was, I want to say it. That was a stomp, an absolute curb stomp. TNC kind of playing with her food there. Febby 7-0. Like, he is the best performer at TNC in terms of KDA. 7-0 on the Undying. He's living up to that name, Mike.
Yeah, I'd say so. Febby doing a fantastic job. And of course, we saw throughout the team fights, there was many moments where it felt like Execration was going to be able to get a big kill off, and then Febby just with the soul rip keeps everyone alive. His tombstone placements were very nice as well. I can't really remember seeing a tombstone being fed the way of Execration throughout this game one. It's definitely a great time for him. Of course, John, we are going to move on to our second game of this best of 2 series between Execration and TNC Predator. Hopefully the next one's a little bit closer than this one was, but we'll wait and see. It's MLP Dota and johnxfire. We'll see you all again in about 10 minutes for our second game. We'll see you then.